queer in the country where my rural roots ground me, creating community so all rural queer youth can feel a sense of belonging. You can take the queer kid out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the queer kid. You can't take the country out of me. And now my wildest dreams are that every queer youth can have stories of happy queers. So my name is Mabe, and my family has been in the county for over 175 years. My grandpa grew up in the house that's behind me as well. My dad grew up next door, grew up here most of my life. I left to go to university. I also did a Rotary Youth Exchange in France, and I did a year-long exchange in university in India, and I've also lived abroad a couple other times. So I moved back to the county of Brant in March 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic. At the time I was living in Martinique. So for part of my social service work diploma, I had to do a couple of practicums, but found that social services is a lot more social justice oriented, and I felt like I belonged more in that program, just by the climate of the program itself and the values that they had. I myself have accessed mental health care over the years. I think it's really important for me to do the work in my home community where I grew up. If I have to do the work anywhere, I want it to be at home, because home is home. It can be more isolating here as a queer and trans person, but I also want it to be less isolating for the youth that come after me. And so I want to do work in the agriculture community as well when it comes to mental health, because that is part of my identity as well. The idea of community from growing up here is localized to the small farming community that I'm a part of. There was this old schoolhouse that we would always go to a few times a year. It's like a strawberry social in the summer and a Christmas thing, and we would get together, just the farmers that lived in the area, and I think that's one of the things that helped shape how I view community and the ways that we're able to support each other. Currently doing my placement for expressive arts therapy diploma that I'm working towards. Expressive arts therapy is an intermodal type of art therapy, so it includes visual arts, music, movement, sound, dance, drama, creative writing, poetry, play, a whole bunch of different things. So ROQKY is the Rural Ontario Community of Queer Youth. I am one of the co-founders and executive members of it. So one of the barriers that I had faced is rural access and how to access mental health care in a small town. So our solution was to create a peer support group for queer and trans youth that lived in rural communities. If you don't create a sense of belonging for people, they're going to leave, they're not going to feel welcome there. But at the end of the day, we're there still to support each other, and I think that's what's the important part about community.